See
Say
something,
something, say
something.
something.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started while we wait for more people to join us. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute everybody.
All right.
Mhm.
You all, I'm gonna unmute you, Nancy, just in case something goes awry. Or you'll have to unmute yourself. That way if something goes awry, you can say, hey, Vicki, something went awry. Hi, Mr. Miani. I see you waving. Oh, we got a few more. Hi, Justin. All right, so we are going to go to share screen so I can share my presentation with you today. Share sound. And I'm going to minimize this. Don't want to know about this. Turn on all notifications. And admit. We're going to go to present. I always forget what the present button is. Okay. So this whole month for our safety Zooms, we're going to focus on the phrase, see something, say something. So today we're going to talk about seeing and reporting unsafe work conditions. So if you're in an unsafe work condition, we want to get in the habit of making sure that we report it immediately. So off to the next screen. So common workplace accidents are slips, trips, and falls. The number one here at Desert Haven is slips, trips, and falls. Muscle strains, being hit with an object, and repetitive strains. So there are a lot of other ones we can talk about. We've talked about some of them in the past, but these are the ones we're going to focus on today. So I'm going to exit out of here. I have a quick little video I'd like to share with you guys. It's only 30 seconds long.
You'd stop someone from stepping into traffic. You'd catch someone to keep them from tripping. You'd warn someone if they were at risk of being injured. And that's why we want you to report unsafe work. To warn someone about something dangerous. Because if you don't, someone could get hurt. Report unsafe work, prevent injuries, and save lives.
You can see all the different ways they stop somebody from getting injured at the workplace. So that's what I'd really like to see here and in our own homes, that we're watching out for each other. So the first one, what to look out for with slips, trips, and falls. So this isn't an exhaustive list. There are things that we can add to this list, and I look forward to your comments and opinions. They're always wonderful. But you're going to want to make sure that to remove any objects that are in walking paths, inform those around you of any tripping hazards you may see. So let's say you see a cord on the ground or a spill, you're going to want to either clean those up or let somebody know, like a supervisor, and let those people know that are around you. Make sure you and anyone around you is watching where they are walking. So this is a big one, and I have to admit, sometimes I have a problem with this. I don't know if anybody else does. But you get walking and talking and you're looking around and you're not watching where you're going, and then pretty soon you trip over a curb or a rock or something that was in your path, and as a result you trip and fall. So those happen quite frequently here at work as well. So again, make sure there's nothing in the walking paths. Inform those around you and your supervisor if there's any slips, trips, or fall hazards, such as water, cords, boxes, anything. And make sure you're watching where you're walking. And then finally, do not rush. So when we rush, that's usually when accidents happen, because we stop paying attention. The next one, what to look for: muscle strains. So when it comes to muscle strains, never lift anything that feels too heavy. It's best to keep it 20 pounds or less for the majority of us. Lift with your knees and not your back. Stop anyone who appears to be struggling lifting an object or is lifting incorrectly. Do not twist while lifting or carry a heavy object or while carrying a heavy object. And again, do not rush. So if we look at this picture over here, it says, lift with your legs, not with your back. So first you're gonna get close to the object. Then you're gonna bend with your knees and your hips, get a good grip. And then you're gonna lift slowly and steadily, keeping the object close to your body at waistline, okay? And then once you get it up, you do not want to twist back and forth with the object because that could cause injury. If it's too heavy, use a dolly or use a dolly whenever possible, or get help from other people. Don't ever just bend over at the waist and lift it up, because this is how injuries happen, or lift too many things at a time or too many heavy objects. And again, don't twist with it. If you're going to turn your whole body, not just at the waist, because that's how injuries happen. So again, if you see somebody that's lifting incorrectly, make sure that you let them know, hey, do you need help? Or go get help to prevent them from doing so. What to look out for: getting hit with an object. So being hit with an object is another one that I've seen a lot of accident reports on here at Desert Haven. Oh, look, I got a little mark there that's not supposed to be there. This can include stationary objects like a corner of a shelf. So I've seen that happen quite frequently, or moving objects like a vehicle. So make sure you're aware of your surroundings and watch where you're moving toward, what you're moving towards, right? So don't just watch where you're going, but if you're moving towards something, just be aware of your whole surroundings. Alert those around you if they're about to get hit, or get hit by something. So if they're about to run into something or something's about to run into them, say, stop, watch out. And then again, don't rush. So something I found out a couple years ago is the number of pedestrians that get hit by vehicles has gone up significantly. And in the report, it said one of the main reasons were because the pedestrians weren't watching where they were going. They were on their phone, looking at their phone, and not paying attention to traffic. So it's a lot easier for us to stop than it is for a car to stop. So sometimes a car might see you, but they can't stop in time. So that's why it's really important. Don't watch and look at your phone. I am guilty of that, and I am working on not doing that. Because that's how a lot of injuries happen. Same thing with slips, trips, and falls. People aren't paying attention because they're on their phone, and then they trip or they step off the curb. So just be very mindful of your surroundings. This is kind of the same thing with slips, trips, and falls. Watch where you're going. So, I didn't change that. Slips, trips, and falls. What to look out for: repetitive strain. So for those of you that don't know, repetitive strain injuries result from overusing a body part, such as your hand, back, and shoulders, to perform a repetitive task, or a task you do over and over again. So it's the same thing. Repetitive task is one you do over and over again. For example, typing on your keyboard or mopping all day can be repetitive tasks. As a result, you could incur damage to your muscles, tendons, and nerves across your neck, shoulder, backs, arms, hands. If you see somebody that's struggling with a task, let's say they're rubbing their back, they're rubbing their knee, their wrist, inform a supervisor, because it might be the task that's causing them to feel strain. And sometimes if that happens at the moment, if they continue to do it, that repetitive strain can make for worse and worse injury as a result. So also inform your supervisor if the task is causing you pain. So repetitive strain can be caused by doing something over and over and over again, but sometimes you can receive a strain from never doing a task before, and you just jump right into it and you're not doing it right, and then you strain your back because you twisted when you shouldn't have been twisting, or you bent at the waist to pick something up instead of bending at the knees. But one of the most effective ways to preventing such injuries is to stretch. So we've talked about that in the past, how important stretching is. I stretch every single morning. A lot of you are quite young, and so your bodies may not feel like they need to be stretched, but it's a really great habit to start now, because as you get older, you're going to need to stretch every day before you go to work. Otherwise, you'll be very tight and sore. Another thing to prevent repetitive strain is to not rush. So let's say you are mopping and you do it over and over again. If you do it slowly and correctly and you're stretching and then you give yourself a break, you shouldn't receive a repetitive strain. But if you're trying to go as fast as you can, and when you start to feel sore, you don't let your supervisor know, and you're not stretching beforehand, then the chances are that can give you an injury. So be on the lookout for other people, because maybe you're very cautious yourself and taking your time. And I've even had people report that. I've had consumers here at the program, and you guys are rock stars. They've told me, hey, you know what? I've seen so-and-so at our crew, and I'm really worried for him because he goes as fast as he can. And I know he's just trying to be helpful to get the task done with so he can help on the next task, but I'm worried he's going to get injured. And so that's a really great thing, that we're looking out for one another. So this is just a wrap up. Be alert, don't rush, wear safety equipment, which we didn't really discuss today, but a big one that Nancy has gone over for is making sure you're wearing the right shoes. So your shoes, they need to have good tread, right? They shouldn't be flat and slippery on the bottom. They should have little bumps. They shouldn't be worn down. They shouldn't have holes in them. They should be on your feet securely. Work boots are great. If you're wearing these little, cute little slipper shoes, they're not really going to protect your feet. Flip-flop sandals, they're not going to protect your feet. So it's really important to make sure you're wearing the proper shoes. And this will definitely help prevent slip, trips, and falls as well. Follow instructions. So that one's really, really important, is following instructions. So, and it goes along with number 6, make sure you're properly trained. So you're working with a new trainer and she says, hey, have you ever done this before? Have you ever mopped? I'm going to go back to mopping. And you don't want to let her down. So you're like, sure, I've mopped. And you just go right into it. And then now you received an injury as a result because you're twisting too fast. So it's better to say, hey, look, I'm not sure how to do it, to get properly trained, and then to follow those instructions. So even though you've been trained and you're doing it over and over again, doesn't mean you should reinvent the way that you mop. Might be the proper way to mop. Or if you are lifting a box, again, you need to follow the instructions, lifting with your knees, not with your waist. This one I really liked. This is on our website. Pay attention and follow emergency drills. So PI, you guys are my rock stars at emergency drills. You do such a great job, and you guys stay calm and you listen to your instructors, and I think that's fantastic, because in the event of a real drill, hopefully you will react the same way, which will also prevent injuries. So if people aren't paying attention and following emergency drills, then when an emergency happens, they may become very agitated or scared and rush, not pay attention where they're going. They could accidentally run into somebody, push somebody down, trip over something, or injure themselves. So that's why it's so important to make sure you're paying attention and following emergency drills.
Say
something. Say something.
One more time. See something.
See something.
Say
Say about something.
See something dangerous.
Say
something.
Say
Say something
something.
loud. Say something to your trainer, but don't just be quiet about it. Say something if you see something dangerous.
That's right.
One more time. See something.
Say something.
Say something.
Say something.
Say something.
Awesome.
Good job, you guys.